It's eerie. Scrolling American social media is eerie. It's an eerie feeling. It's like when you watch one of those movies that's about some real life catastrophic event like Pompeii or Hiroshima or 9/11 or something like that. And you're in the audience and you know what's going to happen, as you're watching it. But the movie is showing you people just going around doing their daily things, their normal lives, living their normal lives, completely oblivious to what you and the audience know is about to take place. It's incredibly eerie. I feel a sense of dread. The tension of impending doom is just too palpable. And then combined with the complete obliviousness of the people, subhanAllah, it just makes it unbearable. For me, it's unbearable to scroll social media. Or it's like the horror movies, when everyone goes to a cabin in the woods or something like that, and then teenagers or what have you, every smile, every laugh, every flirtation between the characters just builds that sense of dread because you know what kind of movie it is. That's how I feel whenever I look at American content on social media. Whenever I look at the vapid, frivolous, self-obsessed, indulgent, privileged inanity of American content most of the time. Even most of the political content is completely oblivious. In a way, it's heartbreaking. It's kind of heartbreaking, really. Because not only do they have no concept of what's coming to them, they can't even understand what's actually already happening to them. You understand? And you think that the way that things have been for only basically like 3 generations, from the World War II generation to the baby boomers to Gen X to the millennials, this minuscule blip in history, somehow you have convinced yourselves that it's going to last forever. The America in your head is a Marvel superhero, but the reality is like some obese teenager in a dollar store leotard and a towel for a cape and a mask that his mother made him. That's the reality. It's like a drug-induced brain fog. Like I said, when I scroll American social media or American content on social media, that's all I see. People on hallucinogens. I mean, the fissure, the gaping chasm between the seriousness of your situation and the unseriousness with which you view your situation is truly staggering. You understand, the U.S. Treasury Department just announced a few days ago that America is functionally insolvent. Do you understand? Your liabilities and your obligations vastly surpass your assets. Can you just imagine, Uncle Sam, when the repo man comes, talking about, you can't do this to me. Do you know who I am? Yes, it can happen to you. It can happen to you, and it is happening to you. You understand? Your elites have burned through your empire like crepe paper. Yes, there's no such thing as Team America. They make you think it's a team, but they don't act like it's a team. You understand? And you got fat, and you got lazy and illiterate and unskilled and complacent and over-entertained and self-indulgent. And you thought that the carnage machine would just keep feeding you and never feed upon you. No, you never understood how any of this works in reality or why. I've said it before. Any society that does not care, doesn't care at all about the quality of the people that it produces, well, they only view their people as disposable, as expendable, and as consumable. So you thought that they were doing it because they loved you. You thought the system loved you. You thought the country loved you. How myopic of you. How delusional. Filled with the blood of Africa, filled with the blood of Central and South America, filled with the blood of Asia. You thought that your society loved you because they gave you devices, because they gave you apps and streaming services. They gave you toys and junk food and movies and music and filters to make you look good on social media. No, your society has relentlessly rendered you incapable and useless. You can't even think for yourselves. You can barely even read and write in your own language. You can't concentrate for more than a few minutes at a time. You can't process information. You can't remember anything. You can't even read a map. You can't do math. Your thoughts are all scrambled. Your families are broken. Your relationships are toxic. You're frivolous and silly and self-obsessed. A society can't hate you more than that. No, you can't hate a people more than when you make those people nothing but dead weight on the earth. When you completely disconnect people from their own innate human potential and you render those people as nothing but automatons in service to your system, you can't hate them more than that. That's the pinnacle of contempt. I'm not saying any of this to insult you. I've told you many times. I'm saying it to let you know how badly your society has done you. And because maybe one or two of you will listen. Maybe one or two of you will get the message. But the truth is that you're not going to see anything at all in the future except more deterioration from here on out in the United States. I can tell you what the future looks like in the U.S. And that's not even me telling the future. You understand? I'm not a fortune teller or something. It doesn't really even count as a prediction. When you're talking about something like this, when you're talking about this sort of thing, it's not even a prediction. It's like if I throw a rock out the window. Am I telling the future or am I making a prediction? Is there some kind of a prophecy when I tell you that that rock is going to hit the ground? No. There's nothing else that can happen. There's nothing else that can happen. And there's nothing else that will happen. Slow death. You know, collapse is different. Collapse happens all at once. It's a shock. People can respond to collapse, but erosion happens right in front of you. It happens right in front of you gradually, and you don't even see it. Erosion happens while you're scrolling. Erosion happens while you're arguing about trans athletes and pronouns and feminism and patriarchy and whatnot. Erosion happens while they're keeping you busy and keeping you distracted and entertained. And by the time you feel it fully, you've already adapted to it. It's the new normal. And you've forgotten what it even felt like before. That's where America is right now. That's precisely where America is right now. Let me tell you what things are really like over there and what they're going to be like over there over the next several years. So the average American, not the wealthy American, not the tiny percentage of Americans who are making six figures, the ordinary American, the average citizen, the regular citizen is completely cornered financially. Any small emergency, any car repair, medical bill, busted pipe is a destabilizing event. His rent or his mortgage is drastically disproportional to what he actually gets for his money. His insurance feels predatory and it keeps being denied. His health care is rationed by his capacity to pay. Look, I was born and raised in America. Like I say, I was born and raised in America, and I lived there until I was in my 30s, and I can count on one hand the number of times that I ever went to see a doctor because it's ludicrously unaffordable. The prescription that most Americans, the most average Americans take for a sickness is called wait for it to go away, wait for it to work itself out, or wait until you get used to it. You know, they say, and maybe you've heard in your own countries, that America has the best medical professionals. America has the best medical research. America has the best medical facilities in the world. Well, we wouldn't know. We wouldn't know. Americans wouldn't know. Because most people have about as much access to those great medical facilities as they have access to becoming an astronaut. All those wonderful medical facilities, all those wonderful healthcare facilities, they may as well be on the moon. And all you have is entertainment. All you have is escapism and drugs and alcohol and doom scrolling and pornography and video games and mindlessness. Even if you're not on drugs in America, you're on drugs. Even if you're not on drugs, you're on drugs. Tranquilizers, sedatives, antidepressants, antipsychotics, in the form of propaganda and in the form of amusement, mindless amusement. You have got Amazon, you've got online shopping, you've got deliveries, because they've made it as convenient as possible, sink you into unpayable debt. So yes, you can have nice things, you can have fancy, pointless things, you can have too many clothes, you can have too many devices, you can have your 12-step skincare routine, you can have your dozen shampoos and conditioners in your shower and whatnot, and you can post about it on social media to make it look like you're not struggling to just keep your head above water. They'll make all of that easy for you. They'll encourage you to act like that. But the underlying experience, the lived experience, is one of contraction. Fewer places are even safe. Fewer institutions are reliable. Fewer opportunities are believable or even pan out. The country that the average citizen was taught to expect is slowly and incrementally disappearing. None of this is happening by accident. Yes, you need to know this. This is what you need to know, because if you keep telling yourself that things have just taken a bad turn somehow, or that somehow America just lost the plot somewhere along the way, then you might try to convince yourself that a correction is possible. But this is what I need you to understand. You need to understand that you are living through the correction right now. This is the correction. What you're dealing with right now, this is the correction. They knew at least 30 years ago that America's days were numbered. And now you understand, or you should understand, exactly why they have been so relentlessly trying to make you stupid, trying to make you oblivious, trying to make you ignorant, trying to make you illiterate and gullible and lazy. Yes, they have engineered that. You understand me? It's deliberate. I'm telling you, they have been running a preemptive counterinsurgency campaign on you for decades so that you won't be able to survive because you're being culled. I can tell you what they're going to do with you now. They're going to make you sick. They're going to make you sick. That will be your contribution to the economy. And they don't even have to engineer a pandemic to do it. They can literally sell you organ failure pills. They can sell you cancer injections and you'll buy them. You'll buy them. You'll charge thousands of dollars to your credit card to buy tablets that will deliver nothing but lifelong organ malfunctions to you. And all they have to do is tell you that those pills will help you lose weight. All they have to do is tell you that those pills will help you grow muscle or help you have smoother skin, or that those pills are going to improve your sexual performance, or that they're going to de-age you, or whatever the case may be. And you put them in your shopping cart and then you put them in your bloodstream. Never mind that your pancreas won't work in a couple of years, or your liver, or your kidneys, or your heart. And they've got you in such a permanent brain fog that you'll even buy it based off of an AI avatar selling it to you with an AI-generated sales pitch. Disease ordered right to your door with free delivery. And that's decades of profit for the pharmaceutical and insurance industries. Decades of infirmity and illness and misery for you, but decades of profit for them. Just what the doctor ordered. Oh, they're disabling you in every which way. Look at AI, ChatGPT and what have you. They're literally making intelligence a subscription service. You understand? Or rather, a subscription service for pretending to know stuff, pretending to be intelligent, pretending to be able to do things. What do you think that means long term? Look at the underlying market need. Like, look, what's the underlying market need for big pharma? It's illness. It's the monetization of sickness. So it's in their interest to promote what makes you sick. What's the underlying market need for the defense and weapons sector? For the defense and weapons industry? Was the monetization of war. So it's in their interest to promote and to spread conflict. Okay, so what's the underlying market need for AI? It's the monetization of stupidity and incompetence. So what is it in their interest now to promote among the society, among the people, among the population? If you don't know the answer, that's the answer. Regardless of what any flag-waving American politician says, the decline of American imperial reach is not a failure of the system. It is the system working as the owners of the system have decided that it should work at this stage of history. What Donald Trump represents, I've said this many times, what Donald Trump represents, what any of these political figures represent, to be honest, is the performance of agency inside of a cage whose bars were installed decades ago. You keep talking about red states, blue states, Republicans, Democrats, right and left. Do you know how foolish you sound? I'm talking about genuinely speaking truth to power, genuinely bearing witness, genuinely telling them about themselves, telling them about their society, telling them about what they have done, telling them about what they are doing, and calling them to repentance